With only 2 days until the deadline, Senate Commerce Committee leadership has agreed to a partial FAA reauthorization package with 9 amendments still on the table, non-aviation related issues. Joining us now, Senator Jerry Moran. He's the lead Republican on the Commerce Aviation Subcommittee. He's also co-sponsor of the FAA Reauthorization Act. And I guess we all get used to trying to watch how things are done in Washington. It needs to be done, right? Is that your message that comes in today? Need to focus on whatever the distractions are. It needs to be done.
Absolutely, Joe. This is the takeaway that Congress should have with the concerns that have been ongoing with airline safety. We need to provide certainty, and FAA reauthorization helps give the tools to the FAA to do its job well and to do it better. Took us a long time to get a FAA administrator confirmed in the United States Senate. That was a step in the right direction, a significant one, again, in that certainty. And now to make sure that there's a consistent plan going forward. The last time we went through FAA reauthorization, there was extension after extension after extension. When I became the ranking Republican on the Aviation Subcommittee, one of my goals, which seems pretty modest, is could we just get our work done on time? And we've been working on this for 14 months now. Every member of the committee and most members of the United States Senate have had input in this. The House has passed a bill, and it's time to move forward. As you say, this extension that we're operating under, the first extension, and I hope there's not a second, concludes on Friday. And incidentally, because it's a revenue bill that's required, an extension would have to originate in the House. That means days, maybe weeks, not just a simple. So I really think an extension is pretty much out of the question. And tomorrow or Friday, you and I can have a conversation. I could be totally wrong, but it seems to me we're going to move forward as we need to.
It's not a done deal, though, is it? What do people want?
It's not a.
Both sides want some things that you know, it's not soup yet.
It's not. I mean, and most of the amendments that will cause difficulties have little or nothing to do with aviation. They're non-germane. They don't fit in the bill. But this is a symptom of a Senate that works pretty slowly and has not had a lot of legislative accomplishments. It's hard to get them around here, and a lot of perception that this may be the last major piece of legislation to work its way through the Senate, certainly before the elections and perhaps before the new year. So everybody, all of us have things we want to accomplish, and so you look for what we call here in the Senate a vehicle to attach this to, so that when that vehicle moves, our amendment is included. And that's what we have going on here. We're determining what amendments are going to be considered, if any, and I would guess that number is pretty minimal, and we'll just kind of march our way through using cloture and the time constraints to get it done. The leverage that someone who wants an amendment has is just to slow the process down, causing us to miss that May 10 date.
But Democrats, they don't like that provision that undercuts the automatic refunds. How's that? I mean, is that a deal breaker? Or are Republicans, who needs to give on that?
I mean, I think that issue, what I would say is that what we have reached a conclusion in the committee is what needs to take place. There's bipartisan broad consensus. So, I mean, the give has to be with those who are trying to amend a bill that has had a long history in getting accomplished, but has broad support. I'd say the amendment that stands out to me is the issue of slots at Ronald Reagan National Airport. The underlying bill adds 4 slots, four additional five slots, five slots going for landings and takeoffs, round trips a day. The Virginia senators in particular, who have a strong interest in Dulles, are attempting to take that provision out. That would be the amendment that is germane, that has a lot of conversation. Slots are always important as different communities, cities across the country are affected by flights to Reagan National.
All right, Senator, what's today, Wednesday? We'll see. It's not done until it's done. But good to have you on and detail all the nuances for us, Senator. Thanks.
Always good to talk to a person who is well-traveled in Kansas, Joe. Thank you.
You remember that, huh? I was just thinking about that. I do. I love it. Hayes and Russell and Bonner Springs and Lawrence. God, I can just reel them off, can't I? I know Kansas well.
You were good, and we can get you to Wichita, the air capital of the world. Aviation is front and center.
That's right. It's one place I don't think I've been because it's not on the way to Boulder, from Ohio. Anyway, thank you, Senator. Good to have you. It's 8 a.m.